Good evening, everyone. We are going to start the today's session, which is the introduction to the Data 650 course, which will have to discuss several important points and start the course more organized. So today, host for our presentation is myself. I'm Elena Gorcheva. I'm the program director for the Master of Science in Data Analytics program and a faculty member since 2002. My background is computer engineering. I have been working in different fields of computer engineering, over 30 years of professional experience. And what I have accumulated as professional experience, I enjoy delivering in the classroom and preparing people for successful career. So my main job in the last 10 years has been to apply this industry acquired experience and work in developing and managing a curricula of different programs. And one of them is the master's degree of data analytics. I enjoy very much doing this. So this is in short about me. With me is Professor Ozan Oskan, who is the professor for the other section of Data 650, and Elena Batinskaya, who is the technical support TA for our Data 650 class. Ozan, can you say a few words about yourself, please?
Yes, Professor, thank you so much. So hello, everyone. Again, my name is Ozan. I have been working for the university for 7 years right now. I taught several other courses as well. At the same time, I work for the industry, for the consulting, and I'm teaching agile project management methodology and coaching the teams for this methodology as well. So I also wish everyone a very good and successful summer term. Thank you.
Great. Elena?
Hello, everybody. So yes, okay, I was on mute, sorry. Hello, everybody. So most of you know me from your prior coursework. I've been a graduate teaching assistant in the University of Maryland Global Campus for 13 plus years. And my degree is in a DBST, Database System Technology, also from GC. I have master's degree. And well, most of you know me from probably Data 610 or maybe Data 630. All right, so I wish you all successful semester and we're gonna talk to each other shortly, okay? Elena, back to you.
Great. The agenda today is ambitious, but we are going to go rather fast over it and we'll give you a room for questions. So we are going to, in general, make a quick course overview with expectations and tentative. Before that, we are going just to summarize the key concept of big data you have been hearing for many semesters and years. And then we are going to get to the software support technology, some miscellaneous issue, and week one activity. So with no more, I'm proceeding with the first few bullet points. Then Professor Ozan is going to talk about the assignment and the expectation. And then Elena is going to talk about the technical support and how we are going to work organized to use successfully the technology, which is quite advanced and complicated in this class, as you have seen in the program. From the class to class, the technology changes. We are learning new tools, and changes imply more strict following instruction and learning more diverse tools. So the first point is regarding our class is named Big Data. We are going to talk about in this course, not, even though the title is Big Data, we are talking about the technology for big data and how to deal with big data. But in order to be successful in this, we need something like definition, which actually doesn't exist. And you know very well that you have been hearing for 10 years big data as a hype, as a misleading definition. And we have to settle in something which already at this stage on the program, you have, of course, more clear understanding. When we talk about the big data, we talk about the data set, which are not easy to manage, which are beyond the conventional technology to be managed, to be stored, searched, and analyzed. So for data which is following this category of big data, we need new technology for storage, sharing, analyzing, and visualizing. And that is mostly the objective of this course. Of course, when big data evolved as a term, we start talking about different architecture and different tools in order to deal with this kind of data. And of course, why is this important for data scientists, data analysts? This implies learning new skills you must have in order to deal with this kind of data. As a data scientist, you will acquire new skills for storage, searching, analyzing, and visualizing this type of data. So this is not quite different from everything you have heard about this up to now. It started 10 years ago with organizing the understanding of the size of data. And when the volume grow beyond certain limit, the conventional relational database were not well suited to deal with this type of data. But this was just the beginning 10 years ago. The processing of this type of data required new approach, and the data structure we had to use changed. We start talking about not only traditional conventional SQL database, but not SQL database. We start a columnar database, and these are kind of things we are going to talk in this class. How this happened? As I mentioned, 10, 15 years ago, like every advance in technology today, they are two sides. One is the necessity to solve problem, and the other side is the capability of the technology to solve the problem. So the same thing happened with big data. The variety of data start growing with introduction of a lot of non-structured data, which are textual data, images, video, provided with Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and other technology-oriented, let's say, site in our industry. So this necessity around 2010 evolved with new technology to deal with this variety of data, which are not just big size, but variety and complexity, like textual, visual, video data, evolved with new technology. And one of them was the Hadoop distributed data file system to store the data and MapReduce as an engine to do the processing of this big data. That was the beginning of the technology. So some of you are looking to this and are looking to something new. Let me tell you, Hadoop and MapReduce are old technology, but they were so successful in the beginning. They were not only so successful to solve the problem because they solved new paradigm. They were, in addition to that, a little bit expensive. So industry spent a lot of money in order to be able to implement this technology and deal with new type of data, which are textual, big data in general, textual images. So that's why this technology remains until today, and we still are learning them. This is not going to be for a long time. Everything evolves, and Hadoop MapReduce, even though are pioneer in this field, like MySQL is a pioneer in the SQL databases, we are talking about something which is not forever, but we still have to learn about this, which is Hadoop and MapReduce, which are the first successful technology to deal with big data and still remain in many of the industry, although many new technology have evolved and are in place. So this is one of the points I wanted everyone understand. And the other is regarding the complexity of big data. Everyone just think about exabyte, starting with petabyte, exabyte. It's not just about this. The most important characteristic of big data is the structure, and the structure is the main characteristic which has made big data difficult and distinctive from other data, how to deal with them from point of view of storage, accessing, processing, and visualizing. And this characteristic is directly related with the structure of the data. So when we talk about big data, we mostly are talking about difficult structure. It's not just the volume. The volume is, let's say, the primary characteristic which has been evolving forever. We have even not control about adding volume to the data everywhere. The challenge is the structure and the variety of the data. When for the same problem, you have to deal with different type of data. So again, the main challenge is structure, and it is the paradigm moving toward unstructured data. So the structured data, which we can represent traditionally, we think about some kind of format structure table. This is just a small chunk of all the data any enterprise, any user have to deal today. Today, we are talking about mostly evolving from semi-structured, quasi-structured to unstructured data. Why this pyramid is very important to keep in your mind. When we talk about unstructured, totally unstructured, we think about free text, the text in your book. But in between, like the real world is not white and black. There is a lot of gray color in the real world. And these are the semi-structured and quasi-structured data, which although are not so easy to manage like structured data in table, but they are not so difficult like the free textual text to deal with. So every time you have to deal with a problem, keep in mind that they are different approaches to deal. You don't have to go directly if you are going to work with some HTML data, which have certain structure. You can define certain structure to deal with this type of data using the approach for free textual data. You can work with the appropriate method for semi-structured data. So that is my point to keep in mind every time you deal with data, which kind of data you have. Here in this slide, you have some examples of kind of semi-structured and quasi-structured data, and keep this pyramid and the example in mind. And every time you deal with your project, try to answer this question and look for the most appropriate approaches. So as I mentioned, our main challenge in big data is the free textual data, which is actually the biggest challenge in big data. Free text data has many challenges, starting with the complexity of the natural language. I have several examples here, which I borrow from IBM, which try to support the complexity of the natural language. For example, if you get any of the bullet point here on the top of the slide as example, for example, how can a house burn up? It is burning down, right? That is part of the language. And you understand that this complexity, implementing this complexity in computer algorithm to understand this data, to extract the value of this data, to extract the meaning of this data is quite complicated. And this will be our main focus today. So instead to having a simple table of structured data like the personal organization regarding Jack Welch working at GE, you will have a sentence which is to the right of unstructured data, which is reading like, if a leadership is an art, then surely Jack Welch has provided himself a master painter during his tenure at GE. So you understand just by this sentence, the complexity we have to implement in computer architecture to store and manage this data and to understand this data, extract meaning of this data. Totally different if you have to work in some structured fashion, like a table in which by one hand you have the person and by the other hand the organization, and each row is related with different person. So this was with the intent to show that we are going to work in quite complex environment in this class. And of course, we are going to talk and focus in what is contemporary AI. Why? This is not separated for big data. And this is actually our main objective to the problem we are solving in this class. Contemporary AI has evolved after 30 years of classical AI trying to substitute human as something very practical in the last, let's say, in the last 7-8 years, which is totally practical, like the name indicate, contemporary AI, and has similar but different objective of what we classically understood as AI to substitute human, is something which evolved with practical aim to enhance human capability. And enhance, we mean make human activity more, let's say, easier, and increase the quality, increase productivity, and that is the meaning to enhance human productivity. So contemporary AI is totally practical thing and has evolved from big data and machine learning. How? With the amount of data and variety of data and type of data like images, text, machine learning has proved much more successful and reliable to solve problems because models have been trained with huge amount of data and provide more reliable results. And this advancement of big data training machine learning algorithm have given the, let's say, the formally contemporary AI meaning. The heart of the contemporary AI is exactly the machine learning trained with big data. So that's why this is very important part of what we are talking about in this course. We constantly are going to talk about finding insight, meaning in textual data, free textual data, which of course is big data, and training machine learning model with huge amount of textual or other kind of data, which are complex data, to solve problems which are very similar to the human capability, because when you have a computer program which is capable to solve problem, to find understanding in free text, or to find pattern in image and recognize this visual data, or to find pattern in video, you understand that we are talking about something which this computer algorithm is very similar to the intelligent human capability. So that's why the problem we are solving with big data in this class are AI problem. Just I want to write to add the word very important, contemporary. We cannot get confused with the initial idea in 1950 about computer program capable to substitute human being. We are not talking about this. We are talking about computer program which acts intelligently like human and is capable to solve problem in similar fashion like human and help human to increase his capability. So this is quite different, contemporary AI from what is classical AI. And again, this is the heart is machine learning model trained with big data. So you understand why this will be first and foremost application problem in our class. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to put the question in the class. I'm going to look right now if they are okay. But if not, we are going to answer any question at the end of the session. Or you understand, this is just the start, and we will have the whole week and the whole semester to discuss as a class every concern, every opinion related with the topic of this class. Related with this, I want to focus in the next class, which try to organize all this not easy to understand for people, because there is so many articles, so many writing, and we are tempted in the today world to Google, to search, to read different definition, different article, and we sometimes get confused. So this slide is, you have to keep this and the previous one in mind when you read about anything related with big data, anything related how we deal with the problem we are dealing in this class, and keep this clear picture. So what is the relation between what is, when I put this slide with artificial intelligence, we are talking about the today contemporary AI, okay? We are talking about the practical contemporary AI, which is not aimed, at least by now, to substitute human, is just to enhance human capability. And it encompasses as such machine learning and of course deep learning, which is sub area of the machine learning. Now, as such, how data science refer of this. So data science solve many artificial intelligence problems. So they are related, encompassing, but they are some kind of artificial intelligence problem which is not purely data science. So we have to keep this in mind. The data science, artificial intelligence are different are different area, although they have a lot of common in between them. The machine learning and deep learning are subject of data science, and at the same time, they serve as a techniques for artificial intelligence problems. So that's why the topics are quite related. I think most we talk in the class, we will get clearer idea about this, and this is nothing confusing. You cannot solve, let's say, intelligent problem without big data and without machine learning. So that is the relation we are talking about. So I think this is just the beginning. We are talking about this and we will continue in class. Next thing I want to point your attention is the different way to store and analyze data. We had, let's say, data warehouses traditionally, analytical sandboxes, and then we arrive to what is the today big data approach, which differ from the traditional and is in the way we are going to focus in this class. What is the big difference between the traditional way to deal with data versus the big data approach? So traditionally, back how data analysis was working. The problem will be defined, and then this problem will ask for some infrastructure to be deployed for the solution of this problem, which usually is kind of data warehouse. And this request is made to the IT department, which can take between 3 and 6 months to build this IT solution. And then the data analyst will work in this information technology infrastructure built for him to run report. This is very classical way to do analytics, which still remain, but is very small chunk of what data analytics does. The today approach is with development of the cloud, company enterprises have moved everything in the cloud, and everything has started to be in the cloud, less expensive and better way to organize, more flexible. So today, how data scientists, data analysts work, they have deployed all the infrastructure in the cloud, and every time a problem has to be solved, the data scientists will look of the available resources in the cloud, will pick up certain services which are appropriate for the solution of this specific problem, and will build the solution on top of these services. I mean, nothing to request, nothing to wait for is there. You just go as a data scientist, pick up what is needed and solve your problem. So here I have to point to several very important things we, as a data scientist, we will have to learn. So the traditional computer or information technology infrastructure has changed by moving to the cloud. Is different paradigm to think about how the resources are deployed and how you're going to use them. We are going to talk a little bit more about using services in the cloud, but in this first meeting, I want to point your attention that this is new computer paradigm, cloud computing. So we are not going, as a data scientist, we are not going, how is this computer architecture organized? We are going to talk about this as a user, and about as a user, what we need to know and how we use the resources in the cloud. Having said that, this is the way today enterprises are moving, because it's more efficient, more convenient, and less expensive. Of course, all this more is based on something which we have to be aware. We have to be aware that in the cloud, in general, we are sharing resources. It's not my computer, it's not your computer, it's shared resources. Although, as a user, you have your username, your assigned, but nothing like computational high performance resources are only for you. These are shared resources, and as a shared resources, we have to learn how to use these resources. It has some new term we will be learning along starting the first a few weeks, and at some point you will get more fluent on this and learn how to use these shared resources. This is what I have about the cloud computing resources we are going to use, and the new practical big data approach when you as a data scientist will find everything in the cloud, and you will use, you will select the services in the cloud which are relevant to the problem you are going to solve, and you are going to use them. And that is the way data scientists work today in industry. That is the way we are going to work in this class. I don't see question at this point. I'm sure at the end of the session, we will have more questions, and we will be responding them. So this class, as any other class in the program, is competence-based. You know what it is. That means we are going to have practical, 4 big practical assignments, and you will be graded in these 4 big assignments. In addition to that, each big assignment has a precondition, something to understand the technology, which we are naming tutorial or exercise or quizzes graded or ungraded, and you will have to do them. They are not the main, they are 4 main assignments. They are not the 4 main assignments you see in the syllabus, but they are required. So you are successful in the 4 big assignments. So I'm going to leave Professor Ozan with this. Before that, I want just to mention how proud we are, how our students are advancing in this program, and how the program is advancing and recognized because of this practical curriculum and because of the skills our students learn, and how successful they have been in several, let's say, international competition between more than 200 universities ranking on the top of the competition, and get confident that really what they learned in this program is up to the industry standard, and they were able to show that. With no more, I want, Ozan, can you continue regarding the schedule and the assignment? And I'm going to move the slide, and if you can talk about this, please. Ozan?
Yes, Professor, sure.
Okay. Do you see the next slide, which is the which we talk, so you know what you need to clarify. I don't have to, right?
Sure. So we have only a couple of major assignments, and the assignments are generally connected to each other. For example, sometimes, to see the one of the assignment, you need to solve the quiz. To solve the quiz, you need to do some homework, but eventually we have 4 major assignments, and these are on week 2, week 6, week 9, and week 12. Also, the discussion boards are also related to this week. And besides these major assignments, we have like a tutorials, like a Spark tutorial or sentiment analysis tutorial. And before each of these assignments and tutorials, we are going to have some walkthroughs, and we are going to have some help sessions, so that, you can get all the helps you need. Right. The first one is
Yeah,
about,
here.
the
Yeah.
HP. The second one is about the Spark and everything. Sentiment analysis, and the assignment 4 is about the building a chatbots. Yes, Professor. So, do you want me to go over this, Professor, or
Yes,
Yelena?
yes. No,
Okay.
that is the grading part. Yes.
Okay. For the grading, folks. First of all, we want all the folks to put a good amount of time each week for this course, because we are going to have a good amount of videos, lectures, and you will get every week from us announcements. And in these announcements, we are helping you with all these details and everything. So please pay attention, so much attention to the announcements. So besides all these assignments and tutorials, we are going to have discussion boards. And for the discussion boards, please create a critical discussion, read through them, and make sure that you complete your discussion boards as well.
Thank you, Ozan. We have to move to the next thing, which is the help with the technology. And I think that Yelena is going to go to this part. Okay, Yelena.
All right.
Sorry, I was on mute. So basically, this is not the first time we're doing it this way, but have you seen this page, guys, in the classroom? Help with technology and software, right? Yeah, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to continue this approach this semester, and that's what you're going to do, so submit the case. It's similar to what you did last semester, except different semester and a different course, right? You did data 640, now it's data 650, okay? Very important. Make sure that you select the virtual lab, the VDA case type from the drop-down, because if you select the wrong case type, I'm not going to receive the case, and I'm not sure where it will go. It will go to the wrong department. It means that how long is it going to take to get an answer? Well, it depends on which department it goes to, how soon they forward it to us, and etc. Okay, so if you select the last case type, this is correct, right? Make sure that you specify the correct course, the correct session, right? Because Salesforce is getting thousands of cases daily. So if you put wrong information, I'm not getting it, I'm not getting the case, and it's gonna take some time, okay? But usually I handle cases quickly, and I do them I answer the cases in the order that they were received in the correct queue, okay? So
Great.
yes.
Let me just add something here, and I will leave you the work. So continue here that we are going to work in the cloud. I want to point your attention that we are going to use some of the technology, you use it already, which is Python and R, but mostly in the cloud, not in your personal computer, okay? Which is different way to deal. Although some stuff in R and Python you can do in your computer like you did in 630 and 640. Here we are going to move with what is the today contemporary approach to do analytic in the cloud. Beside that, we are going to work mostly with the IBM Cloud platform. They are different cloud providers today, and I can tell you that most of them, even though they are competing each with other for client, but from point of view of capability, mostly offer the same thing. So you don't have to worry which one. Just the interface of different provider is different, but most of them provide if somebody is telling you, no, that provider provide that, but the other doesn't, most of them provide the same thing. So we are going to work with something which quite well match with the paradigm of big data and AI and contemporary AI. which is the IBM Cloud. And we are going to use, starting from columnar database, DB2, the Spark, which is the contemporary engine. The historical one was MapReduce, which we still are going to use the historical concept in week 1 and 2, but then in week 3, 4, and forward, we are going to go to the most contemporary high performance computing engine, which is Spark, which has established itself as a major tool today to deal with big data as an engine. So we are going to work with Spark. And from point of view of contemporary AI working with textual and image data, we are going to work with Watson cognitive capability. This is just to point your attention how diverse technology we are going to use and how important is if you are having problem on time to get help from the support which Elena is talking about. Open a ticket and you will be helped. There is no need to click and sit for hours and try to figure out because the technology is complex. We are trying to extract just portion of it to solve, to get your hand dirty, let's put it this way, to learn, not that you are going to be expert finishing this class, but this is going to open your perspective, how to deal with unstructured textual and image data to solve real AI problem. So regarding the cloud platform and how to get your account, this is happening all the time. Cloud is cloud. Everything changes constantly. It's not built for us specifically. It's built for 1,000 enterprises and users, and it changes from time to time. And sometimes the instruction change. Just let's say the way to build the IBM Cloud account just changed in the past week. You understand, in the past week, we just detected the changes and the instructions are not quite updated yet. We have to figure out the best way without confusing anyone to get through this point. And you should understand that this is what you will learn in all your career. Every time things in the cloud from time to time change, and you have to be prepared for this. Of course, here the unfortunate thing is the class is only 12 weeks, and change is just putting more more hurdle in the way we are working, but we will overcome this. And Elena is going to give some hint, and if needed, you will have some time to hold on for half day in order to get the updated instruction. Elena, whatever update you have to go with this, clarify,
Okay.
and we are going to provide tomorrow more updated instruction.
Yes. Okay, but let's say it this way. First of all, the good news are that you're not using this account for another couple weeks. For the first assignment, you're not going to use the IBM Cloud account. So why is it good news? Because it gives us a little bit more time to figure things out, okay? Oh, I see some good questions in the chat and I answered some of them, except for the last one. Okay, now let's take a look. There are several parts that involved in this IBM Cloud account. One part is to get your 25-character code, okay? Well, yes, the question is, yes, there is a deadline to submit for the, okay. Let me explain. The way it works is IBM Cloud account assignment, it's a yes or no, right? Did it or did not do it. The purpose is just for instructor to make sure that you have an account going. But if there is a technical problem that beyond our control that prevents you from having an account working by next Tuesday afternoon, Professor Azan is gonna know, and trust me, he's not gonna fail you just because of the issue that is beyond your control. So no worries. I work with instructors. Yes, I know that there is a that you need to submit the registration. Yes, I know that, and the due date is still there. But if anything happens, you will be worked with. Don't worry. Okay. So that's a good thing that we still have 2 weeks to figure things out. So no pressure, but we will. So there are two pieces in here. First part is to obtain your 25 character code, right? This is, if you look at the instructions, it's written as a second step, but I would recommend doing it first. Okay, so if you look at the instruction, I may need to share my screen now, but
Okay.
apology in advance.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a
Okay.
lot of things open because, well, I was trying to figure things out. You know me, right? Okay.
Elena,
Okay,
let
yes.
me just interrupt you quickly. So you don't have the updated instruction because they have to be vetted and run again. So you are not provided, we are going to provide the updated instruction
Yes.
tomorrow. Whatever you are saying today is not written on stone.
Well,
This is not tested, not vetted. It's gonna be done overnight, okay?
but well, to say first part is yes. The
But the
part to
first
obtain,
class is in the classroom.
well,
So,
the part, there are different parts here. The part to obtain the code, they can do it. You can obtain the code. That part is there. Okay. I'm okay. Let me show you what's going on. Let me see. Where is the share screen here? Share screen. Okay. Share. Okay. So here I'm looking at the classroom, right? Do you see the screen? This is the instructions here. Skip this part. There is no more 30 days free trial account. Let's forget
this
about
will be
this.
deleted.
Yes. But what you need to do is this. This part you can do. Yes, you can do this part. Obtain 25 character code, right? So you're gonna go to that web page, right? Initially you're not gonna have an account, so you're gonna need to answer some of the questions, right? So you go back to this. Yeah, so this is a part that you're gonna start with. Let's start with obtaining feature code. Okay. It's much be easier that way. So see this is a site, and you're gonna be asked those enter your university email to begin, right? Which is an email address that ends with umgc.edu. So this part is still the same, right? This should be good. It should be good through
Okay,
here.
Elena, I have a suggestion. Let's update the instruction. And if somebody has problem, we will deal with this by opening ticket.
Yes,
I don't think it makes sense to stay here and
okay.
going back and forward. I see a student saying he's failing, that his screen is different. So let's
Because
do the
they're looking at the
following.
wrong step.
Okay, let's do the
Yeah,
following.
okay.
Let's update the instruction. And if something doesn't work, then student will be helped. But this is not just to go, oh no, but it's not this way for me. It's not. This session is not for this. And moreover, we are not solving any problem this way. So let's update the instruction and
I may
then
need a volunteer. In
you
order to
don't have
update
the
it.
updated instruction. I'm sorry. You do
Well, yes, but what
not
I'm
have.
trying to, yes, but I don't have an account to use because I can have only one account. So in order to update, I'm gonna keep you posted, but there is a possibility that I might need a student volunteer to
Okay,
use
yeah.
their account for taking
I
screenshots.
have it. I have it here in the classroom. Let me see the
It's
name.
okay.
If Zoltan won, oh, he already volunteered. You have it. That's it. We
Okay.
save everyone time. We say thank you, Zoltan.
Yes, because what I would need you
Okay,
to do
we
is
save
yes.
every
Okay.
people time. Okay.
Okay.
So you work with him, you do this, and we update
Yes.
the instruction, and that's it. So what we
Yeah.
are going to do, we are going to post announcement, myself and Professor Ozan, that the instruction will be updated and hold on in your IBM account until we post the updated instruction. Zoltan is gonna help, thank you, with Elena to go and update the instruction. And again, this is usual thing and will happen probably for some other project in this class. we can, our experience has shown that there is not such a thing as running 12 weeks without some interruption in the cloud provider. Always is something which we need to update, and this is the usual thing you will have to learn and live with this. Okay, this is part of the learning.
Oh, there was another question, Yelena, about the discussions.
Okay, can you stop sharing and we will let me see what the question.
Okay, well, I can stop 1 second. It's in the questions. How do? Okay.
So I'm reading here regarding the, let's finish with this. We're going to update instruction and the deadline will be extended. Don't worry about this. When the problem is related to the things which are beyond your individual capability, the deadline will be extended, of course, whatever possible with the duration of the semester, not to worry about the deadline. Moreover, the IBM Cloud, we are not going to work until week 3. So you understand, like any organized class, we have to put deadline and we have to be meaningful in this. So student work and the workload is distributed more uniformly. But in this case, we are nothing wrong that we are going to extend the registration process as needed, okay? Not to worry about this. So I see about the discussion. So let's put it the discussion this way. Here is, you look strictly of the number of the replay. As we advance in this class, the number of a replay is just a measure that you are participating. But actually what Professor Ozan is grading and myself is the contribution to the discussion. It's not just that you reply 2 times or 1 time. This is one thing, you have to participate. So the discussion is measured with your main contribution and with engaging your colleague. That means engaging your colleague, you have to reply to your colleague in meaningful way. So the most important is not just 1 or 2 replay, which is needed, but is what you put in this replay. Let's put it this way. So is the contribution plus the number. That is what is measured. And what you look for the discussion is that everyone learns from them. That is the purpose. It's not something formal. We want you to work and write something. That's not the purpose of the discussion. The purpose of the discussion is topics are so extensive and so encompassing different points, different technology, different problem that we need the whole class together discussing and learning more. And learning more how, for instance, bring in very practical problem you are solving in your job or you had, let's say, recently solved in your job, and everyone is learning about this. Let's say doing sentiment analysis and you work on this or you have a task to work, you share your work experience. That is another story. So mainly the discussion is, the aim is we learn together and you participate in meaningful way, not just counting 1 response, 2 response. 1 response, 2 response is just must have. The thing is what is in this response, okay? I don't know if I answered the question. Andy is asking. Andy, let me see. Okay. Did I answer the question about Andy? I think was asking about.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You did.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Great, great. So regarding freely writing discussion, I would say we don't need up a format to write in the discussion, but you have to provide, if you use other people you have to provide reference if you use other people, let's say article. Just provide at the end of your post the references you use, and this will help your colleague to understand better the topic, because you're going to extract something which is important to you, but other colleagues will learn more maybe about something else. So I don't know if the free format satisfy is in line with you, what you teach, Stanislav, or not? Okay. It's very important you share experience in this discussion post, right? Any other question? I can't believe we are just without question at 9 p.m. I can't believe that. This is like a clock. Okay. For the base training, which base training? Oh, for age base. I think in the classroom, there are more resources than needed, but I have selected something else. So let's put it this way. I understand that some of you want to go with something easier. Some of you need more resources, and we will be providing more, but more not always is the best. I want, and let's put it this way. I would select something less difficult. Okay, got it. Oh, you are talking about the clarity in the audio. Eh? The problem is with audio.
Oh, there are 3 videos, right?
Yes. Okay.
Difficult
Okay.
here.
I don't know which one, but I have selected some others, so we will provide them tomorrow.
Which materials could you tell us? Could you be more details, Stanislav? Which details? Which materials? You need to, it would help to be explicit, like show which video and which materials.
It
Huh?
has to be more concrete. Yeah.
Because there are several videos in there. I don't know what you're referring to.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. That's the most
see.
difficult. I got it. Well, let me put it this way. There are many other less difficult, more popular, but they are not graduate level. That's why we didn't put. I will just permit myself to do that, and we will do that tomorrow. But let me put it this way. They are not in the level of the graduate course. So I don't want that somebody think, oh, we are doing this popular thing in the graduate level. Of course, MapReduce lecture is quite, that is the most difficult part, let's put it this way. And even historical is good that you understand how this was built, why it was built this way, and how it solved the problem 10 years ago. Yeah, I understand. The yarn MapReduce is the most difficult. Okay, we will put something popular, but again, caution, keep in mind that is not going to be graduate level. Okay.
Yes, Stanislav, there is another video for each base. It's in assignment 1 folder. Have you checked that one? Well, you need to watch that one because one of the questions in assignment is on that video. So
Okay, for HBase, I think it's embedded in the assignment, right?
well, yeah, that's different. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
he was referring to the lecture on MapReduce. Okay, I see.
Okay. Okay. Well, HBase is more, let's put it this way, HBase, I don't know what to promise there. For MapReduce, I understand the difficulty. I can provide something popular, again, not graduate level, but at least learning the technology. So. And for HBase lecture slides, I have to see which one is this. Let me see. I think, you know what, Stanislav, will be good that you provide to Professor Rozan exactly which one with the title, with the link. So when we talk about the same thing, you know. I think I understand your concern about MapReduce because this is the most difficult part. But other than that, I'm not sure because in the classroom, there are many different links. So if you could provide to the professor email, if you want, copy me also. So I'm aware maybe the student in the other section are having similar problem, but please provide exactly which one. Is that okay with you? Yes, no? Okay, great, great, great. Appreciate that, and this will be helpful for everyone, okay?
Yeah, that will be very helpful. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, more questions? No, yes. So I want to repeat again, and this is not only for you, we are recording. The recording will be posted tomorrow in announcement, all together with the PowerPoint we were using. And keep in mind that we are working and living more often in big data in always changing dynamically work. Right now, change in the IBM account. I don't know in few weeks what else. And again, for everyone, keep in mind that you don't see all assignment because some of them are conditional. You don't see assignment 2 because it's conditional on the tutorial. You don't see assignment 3 because it's conditional in the sentiment analysis tutorial. So, but what is in the syllabus is what is in the classroom, although you the conditional assignment, you don't see them, okay? If there are not more questions, we are going to end the today's session. Hope it was helpful, enlightening, and we will have periodically every couple of weeks a session live like this for introduction to the new technology. When we start week 3, we will have one, week 5, we will have another one, and so on and on and on. Anybody more? Ozan, Yelena?
I'm good, Professor. Thank you.
Yes, so Zolon, please go ahead, submit the ticket, and then we're gonna do the screen share. And well, I will need you to share the screen. I'll take some screenshots. That's what needs to happen. Okay.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.
Bye.